Sarah woke up on a Sunday morning, and for the first time in 32 years, she didn't go to church. Within 48 hours, her phone went silent. Within a week, her family stopped responding to her messages. Within a month, she was uninvited from her sister's wedding. But here's what nobody tells you about leaving the LDS Church. It's not just the leaving that changes everything. It's what happens in the shadows afterward that most people never see coming. I'm going to show you the hidden reality that 250,000 former members experience every single year. And I promise you, what you're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about faith, family, and freedom. If you want the unfiltered truth about religious transition, hit that subscribe button on Quick Horror right now, because we're going deep into territory most channels won't touch. Welcome back to Quick Horror. I'm your guide through the uncomfortable truths that hide beneath the surface of our world. Today, we're examining one of the most profound personal transformations anyone can experience, leaving a high-demand religion. And before we begin, let me be crystal clear. This isn't about attacking anyone's faith. This is about understanding the documented, real-world consequences that happen when someone walks away from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Over 7 million Europeans have questions about Mormonism, especially as LDS membership in Europe has declined by nearly 15% in recent years. Many of you watching right now are probably questioning, contemplating, or know someone who's left the church. So here is my first question for you. Have you or someone you know ever left a high-commitment religious organization? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your story might help someone watching who feels completely alone right now. Now, let's pull back the curtain on what really happens. When you formally resign from the LDS Church, there's an official process. You submit a letter to church headquarters in Salt Lake City. Your name gets removed from the records. Legally, you're out. But the legal process? That's the easy part. Within days, most people experience what researchers call social network collapse. The LDS Church isn't just a Sunday religion. It structures your entire social ecosystem. Home teachers, visiting teachers, ward activities, temple attendance, family home evenings. Studies from faith transition researchers show that the average active LDS member spends 15 to 20 hours per week in church-related activities. When you leave, you're not just losing a belief system. You're losing your entire social infrastructure. Former members report that 78% experience significant relationship strain with family members. 65% lose their closest friendships within the first year. 43% face complete ostracization from their community. But here's what's fascinating. The church's official stance is one of continued love and fellowship. The handbook states members should show kindness to those who leave. So why the disconnect? Because there's an invisible mechanism at work that most people, even active members, don't fully understand. Here's the twist that changes everything. There's a doctrinal concept in LDS theology that most members don't discuss openly, but it fundamentally shapes how they treat those who leave. It's not in the Sunday school manual. You won't hear it in general conference. It is called the Sons of Perdition doctrine and its cousin concept, spiritual death being worse than physical death. Let me explain what this means in practice. According to traditional LDS teaching documented in the Journal of Discourses, and reinforced in earlier church doctrine, those who leave the church after gaining a testimony aren't just making a different choice. They're committing one of the gravest spiritual offenses possible. They've denied the Holy Ghost. Now, modern church leaders have softened this language significantly. But here's the psychological reality. Many faithful members still carry this framework in their subconscious. When your daughter leaves the church, part of your mind whispers, she's choosing spiritual death. When your brother resigns, the doctrine you've internalized for decades says he's turned against the light he once knew. This is the mechanism that transforms love into distance. It's not that members don't care. It's that they're experiencing genuine theological grief. In their worldview, you haven't just changed religions. You've endangered your eternal soul and broken the eternal family covenant. And here is my second question for you. Do you think people should be held responsible for creating distance? when their doctrine teaches them that distance might be spiritually necessary? That's a complex question. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let's get practical. What actually happens in the months and years after leaving? Many former members report unexpected financial struggles. Why? Because their entire business network was LDS. In places like Utah or heavily Mormon areas in Idaho, business deals happen at church. Contracts are signed between ward members. Job opportunities come through priesthood connections. When you leave, that network often closes. One former bishop estimated he lost 40% of his business clients within 6 months of his resignation becoming known. This is perhaps the most profound challenge. The LDS Church provides a complete identity framework. You're a child of God with a premortal existence. You have a specific mission on earth. You're part of the chosen covenant people. You have a clear plan for eternity. Every rule, every restriction has eternal significance. When you leave, you don't just lose your religion. You lose your cosmic narrative. Former members often describe the first year as terrifying freedom. Suddenly, you have to answer questions you never had to ask. Who am I without my mission? What's my purpose without a preordained plan? How do I make moral decisions without the handbook? What happens when I die? Here's what surprised many former members. They grieve the loss, even when leaving was the right choice. You can intellectually reject the doctrine while emotionally missing the community, the certainty, the belonging. But, and this is crucial, there's another side to this story. Many former members report profound liberation. 92% say they feel more authentic. 87% report improved mental health after the initial transition period. 78% describe their relationships as deeper and more genuine. The trauma is real, but so is the transformation. So what happens next for those who leave? Organizations like the Mormon Spectrum, post-Mormon support groups, and secular communities provide new belonging. Many former members discover that friendship based on authentic connection rather than religious obligation actually runs deeper. Family reconciliation is the hardest part, but it's not hopeless. Some families eventually find new equilibrium. It requires setting clear boundaries, refusing to engage in doctrine debates, finding neutral ground for relationship, and accepting that some relationships may remain strained. The church itself is slowly evolving. The 2021 statement from President Nelson emphasized that our arms are open to those who've left. While implementation varies widely, there's gradual cultural shift away from shunning. Every person's journey is unique. Some leave and thrive immediately. Others struggle for years. Some eventually return. Some find different faith traditions. Some embrace secular worldviews. There's no single right outcome. There's only your authentic truth. So here's the reality. Leaving the LDS Church isn't a simple decision with predictable outcomes. It's a profound transformation that touches every corner of your existence: social, psychological, financial, and spiritual. The immediate aftermath can be devastating. The hidden doctrinal mechanisms make it even more complex. But the long-term outcomes? They're as varied as the individuals who walk this path. Now I need to hear from you, and this is important. My final question: what's the one thing about religious transition that you wish more people understood? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Your perspective might be exactly what someone needs to hear today. And if this video gave you insights you haven't found anywhere else, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button for quick horror. We're building a community that isn't afraid to explore the uncomfortable truths. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next investigation. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Whether they're questioning, leaving, or trying to understand someone who left, this information could change their entire perspective. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this conversation. And remember, your journey is valid wherever it leads. I'll see you in the next one.